How's it going, boys and girls? Data here, and welcome back to the Minnesota Wild Franchise Mode, episode 13, here at the beginning of the 2023 offseason. In the last one, it was a Game 7 heartbreaker at the hands of the Vegas Golden Knights in round number 2, as we lost in very disappointing fashion. It was a goaltender's duel through and through until Tristan Jarry collapsed in Game 7, letting in 6 goals, I believe, on 21 shots. We made it through the Oilers in 6 after going down 2-0. We won 4 in a row and stormed back. Lost in 7 against Vegas after we were up 3-2 in that series. Vegas went on to get swept by Dallas, who went on to lose in 5 to the Capitals. So it wasn't a great playoffs. We saw some good things. We saw some bad things. And we have some questions for this offseason because we have to have a goalie in nets per the rules of the National Hockey League. And Tristan Jarry, great guy, love him, traded for him at the deadline, up to an 87 overall. Good for you, buddy, love it. But he was on an expiring $3.5 million contract, and now he wants between $7 and $8 million, and he doesn't want to re-sign. So we're definitely going to let him walk. Maybe he comes back, but we're definitely letting him walk to free agency at the very least, and we'll see what happens. Jonathan Quick, we should have started him in Game 7 maybe. He came in relief in like Game 5 or 4 or 5 and he made 22 saves. But that is the past, and now we look towards the future. I'm just going to quickly skim over comments in this one because I found that almost every comment was pretty identical, so I'm glad that there's a consensus in what we should do in moving forward here. First comment coming from Wesley Benjamin, probably the best profile picture as well of any comment I've ever seen. He's glad to say he's finally caught up with the series and now we can actually watch the episode, looking forward to it. And then when he followed up in the comments, he said that he enjoyed it and it was quite the run. Did not expect it to end in that way. He says that Jarry should walk. If we trade up in the draft, there's likely a good chance that a pick would allow you to take Correa, Demetrius Correa, the player that we're looking at in the late first round. He would be available, and I think that could be a decent pick, and it's a bonus with the cool name. So Demetrius Correa, let's just go quickly look at him in the draft class here. It's very interesting because not only is it a cool name, and not only is he low elite potential for the end of the first round, he is also NHL ready. So that doesn't necessarily mean 80, 81 overall. In fact, I am 99.9% sure it doesn't mean that, or else he would be much higher ranked, but it does mean that he's likely between, I would say, I think the lowest I've seen NHL ready is like 76. So I'd say he's probably like a 76, 77 range when it comes to overall, which is great. He doesn't have to be NHL ready. It's just saying that, hey, he's 18 years old, and he could play your third pair if you needed him. So therefore, if we grow him right, hopefully next season, as in the 2024-25 season, or maybe even one more after that, he should be ready, as opposed to a player that says they're 3 years away and it actually takes 5 years. So if we could trade up for him, that would be lovely. Though he died, you should try to get a new goalie. Jarry is not the best and does not sim very well. I've seen hit and miss with Jarry before. He seems to be very good. I wouldn't mind bringing him back, but it's just more the contract situation. Legend 3-2-4-5. First thing, what a crazy roller coaster of a playoff run. Jarry really choked. I would look at Ben Bishop for maybe 1 year in free agency. Robin Leonard's probably the best, but that would be in a trade, and we don't need to make a trade when we have a good free agent class coming up. I would trade for Correa, definitely. He's NHL ready in the late 20s. That's a steal. You should look to keep Elias Lindholm, in my opinion. Also keep Jonathan Quick, just in case the goalies aren't growing. Keep the coaching staff, and Jarry was definitely better than I expected until he sold you out in Game 7. Pat Sully, no shame in going out in 7 to a team that was very good in the regular season. Throw in Zach Hyman, and you had an uphill battle, to say the least, definitely. Pat doesn't have 21, so no educated suggestions, but if it's coming from Pat, you know it's educated. He says he's hesitant to pay goalies, so that Game 7 to boot really stings, and Jarry making $8 million, don't know about that. If it makes sense, try to trade up and draft Correa. The name and potential alone will make him a fun guy to have. Mikey, look for a big-time goalie to sign in free agency. Jarry is not the answer. Bring up some young guys on that third line, players who need to be up in the top 6. Preseason's killing you. Wish you could get rid of him somehow. Can't wait to see what happens next. Good Game 7. Should have started quick. But a good point about Parise. The contract's not killing us just yet. He came off a really weak season at 40 points. Hopefully a reduced ice time on the third line will help him to find his groove again. But maybe, and hopefully he'll retire as well and the money will be freed up. But if he can continue to perform, we're happy to have him here. Poisson Victor the Fish says, I think you should go for Bishop as well in free agency. Another agreement there in the free agency class. It'll probably be a lot cheaper after in the draft. Trade up for Correa, the low elite guy. To trade up, use one of your top 4 deep prospects that are already like 23 years old, such as Kalen Addison. They will not grow a lot more than a 79 or an 80 max. Then you won't have to use your second round pick, which is already your first pick in the draft. You could draft a replacement for Addison instead of trading up with the second round pick. You could just move Addison himself. And last comment coming from Apo Haikila. Great video as usual, Data. Thank you very much, Apo. Minnesota had an okay playoff run. Could have been worse, but Jerry really did choke on that last game. Like many have already suggested, look for that new higher overall goalie and keep the same coaching staff. And next season, we got to give minutes to Leon Botter or trade him. Once again, great video. Take care. Thank you, Apo. Same to you, and I hope that you will enjoy this one. So let's hop into it. It seems as though we definitely want to try and trade up. We'll see. I don't think it'll be as long of an off-season as usual. It shouldn't be like an hour and 10-minute episode or anything. But does anyone want to trade their early picks? No. Okay, so first picks that's tradable is pick 7. There were really some good prospects up here, but we really don't have the means to make that happen. So we may as well just simulate the first few here. Foligno, yeah, of course. The medium franchise center goes to the Predators. Sniper as well, so that is twisted. 5-star shooting. He's going to tear up the NHL at the age of 18. My goodness. Next up, the New York Rangers will select probably the defenseman. Yeah, Chad Chelios. He is a defensive defenseman. Penguins, are they going to take the sniper, right? No, playmaker. Okay, they take Casper, medium elite playmaker. Ducks take Clark. There's the sniper. Cameron Clark, 81 overall, 5-star shooting, 18 years old, 5'8". Yikes, that's going to be another, well, at least over, not in our division, but that's another tough player within the West. So first pick that is tradable is pick number 7. If we were to try and trade up at pick number 7, we'd probably get this guy Cameron McCammond, a medium elite two-way forward, 18 years old, NHL ready, similar to Joe Thornton. I don't think we really need to trade up for anybody, nor do we have the ability to do so, so no point in doing that. There are some good prospects in here, notably Nicholas Rodin. I saw that he was NHL ready, similar to Marcus Naslund at 17 years of age, which is really cool. But again, we just can't get that trade value. I'm actually pretty skeptical of even being able to trade for pick 28 here to get Korea. We really don't have much to trade at all. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to just start jumping towards the 20s. So let's go to like pick, I don't know, 23, and we'll see what we're looking like by then. All right, so here we are at pick number 23. Let's see what's been going on here in the first round. So the Jets took McCammon, 78 overall, medium top 6, starts to drop off in overall. Here's that guy Rodin probably, 17 years old, 76 overall, with 4-star shooting as a sniper. Wow, that's a great selection. I actually did look into it off screen here. The Panthers wanted to trade their pick. I tried giving a third, a fourth, Tristan Jarry and Kalen Addison, and it wasn't really even that, it wasn't close. So it really wasn't going to happen unless we wanted to trade a roster player like Elias Lindholm, which we have not said that we are okay with doing just yet. We have to see the lineup and see how people grow over the off season first. Luckily, the 27th overall pick is up for grabs. Korea is slated to go number 28. Hopefully 27 is good. I'll take the risk just because Chicago wants to trade that pick. What would it cost to get that pick from the Hawks? So actually, I did do some pre-scouting, and just looking at the draft board. There's not really anyone that interesting in the 4th round, so I would not be opposed to just trading both of the 4ths. I'd like to keep the 2nd and the 2/3, but both the 4ths right off the bat. If we were to throw in anyone, it's probably going to have to be Kalen Addison. We're looking at rookie skaters here in value. Not a lot of people who have value. We could throw in Beckman, 22 with 72 overall. Actually, I could throw maybe just, I don't know, depends on their roster spots. We could just try to throw in a bunch of these guys, maybe some unsigned guys with low overall and high age-ish. Like, this is kind of fair in value, but I really doubt they do this. Yeah, it just isn't very interesting, so I'll have to tweak it some more. Try a third, 2/4 with Beckman and Hunt. Not just, it's quite close to fair value, but they're just not interested. Addison would easily push it over. I'm trying to work a way around Addison because we've been working on him so hard the last 3 seasons to try and make him grow with the +5 on the first deep pairing. every single season. He's been growing, but it's been a slow process. And in the real world, he's a very good prospect who the Wild would want to be keeping. They want Capobianco, so we could trade them the rights to Capobianco. Trade accepted. Yes, let's go. On behalf of the Chicago Blackhawks organization, I accept your trade offer. We'll see you out on the ice. So it cost us Capobianco, who is an expiring contract. We probably would have kept him for depth, but that's okay. A third and a fourth and a couple prospects who were not going to grow, especially with their player types and all that. And we get to keep Kalen Addison. It was a stretch, but we just got it done, and we just had enough value to make it happen. They want to give us the Flames want to give us Philip Danault and Blake Coleman for that 27th overall pick. As tempting as it is to want to take Phil Danault, that is not going to happen. So Roberts was low elite. Medium top 6, Green Morris top 6. So all right, that is a great selection here at 27. I really hope. Low elite potential, two-way defenseman from the Windsor Spitfires, Demetrius Correa, son of Paul. He grew a little taller at 6'2", decided to go the defensive route. In the OHL, 44 points in 65 games, -5. Will be in the NHL soon. Hopefully, the A's are looking great. Just a B on defense. Shutdown, heavy slap shot, mobility, all his strengths. Let's just make it happen. We'll call Paul Correa up to the stand to make the announcement for us, and he will select from the Windsor Spitfires, Demetrius Correa. He is 77 overall, just as we thought. That's great for a late first-round pick. Low elite, 77 overall. Should be ready to go in the NHL in no time. 83, 84, 83 on the defensive categories, which are just fine. His skating is strong, which is good. Right out of the gate, 86 acceleration and speed. Shooting is nothing crazy. Discipline, 84. Cool. Probably boosts the overall a little bit, but still, we will happily accept that. And our next selection, we still get to keep it over at pick number 48. So first, let's just sim to the next round so we can get these guys out of the way. See who else went at the tail end of the first round. No one. Yikes. A medium top 9 forward and 3 top 6 defensemen. So we pick at number 48. Is there any prospect that we want to really trade up for before we get there? Medium starter, 3 bars, medium elite grinder. That's cool. I don't recall that there being, no, I recall wanting to take the pick because then there's all these guys who are low top 6, exactly. So we'll go ahead and simulate to pick 48 here in the second round, and that leaves us, with who we thought. Carey Varakis, Lucas Drake, and Stefan Whiting. It pretty much comes down to those 3 players. Sniper, playmaker, Whiting, 3 years away. I think they're all 3 years away. Yes, they're all 3 years away. They're all pretty similar. Low top 6. I think I want to go with Lucas Drake simply because the scouts have him ranked higher. Look at the stats here. 2 goals, 4 assists in 37 games. 3 goals, 2 assists in 43 games on Kalpa Kuopio. And Lucas Drake on Kuku Kuovola. Pretty cool name right there. You know what? Cool team name, better stats, better scout ranking. Let's go for the Norwegian, Lucas Drake from Kuku Kuovola in Liga. He is 64 overall, low top 6 sniper. You know what? With these guys who are going here, medium top 9s, I will definitely take a low elite. I'm guessing like 3-star shooting, 2.5 star, with the 8 low 80s. Yeah, that's good. No problem. You can take your time to grow, Lucas. He is 5'10", perfect, 18 years old. Lugard Drake, welcome. Rita was medium top 9. Denisov was low top 6. Where's Karka? What was his name? Nash is low top 6. Galiev low top 6. Varakis, there he is, low top 6. 63 overall. Sniper, so 1 overall less. Shooting's a little bit worse. So we are very happy with Lucas Drake, I would say. Next pick is at pick number 78. We can sim to next round, which brings us to 63. Thankfully, the scouting was good this season. We have a lot of guys who are uncovered, so we know what we're looking at here. Is there anyone we really want to trade up for? Look at all these medium top 9s. It's just medium top 9s as far as the eye can see. I think I'm very happy. We could probably take Dal Cole or even this low top. Yeah, no problem. Sim to pick number 78. No need for trades. Just get through this draft. Get the offseason over with. So there's a low top 6 gem, Zane Dal Cole, 17 years old. That's pretty cool. 33 points in 55 games, 3 years away. Then there's Timo Tuominen, defensive defenseman, low top 4D. You know, we have a lot of defensemen. Low top 4 D2. You know what? No, let's just do it. He's a gem and he has good stats. He's young. Zane Dal Cole. Pretty cool name from the U.S. development program. He is 63 overall, low top 6, two-way forward. Again, in a sea of top 9s, I will be very happy to get a low top 6, especially if they're a gem. Sim to pick number 110 now, as we're nearing the end of the draft. This guy's just medium top 9. I think I'm going to go by potential here. There is a guy who's 3 bars low top 6, which is nice. 3 bars low top 6. Can anyone beat that? 3 bars low top 6. Guaranteed low elite. We could probably get him on the next pick, though. We can get this guy now. Take a risk. We're going to take a risk on Timothy Donaghy. He is 19 years old with 3 bars low elite. Probably just trade bait, but you know what? Is he from where? Poland? Let's do that. Low elite, 58 overall sniper. Okay. Nice. We can definitely do that. Then we go to pick 144 and we'll get the next low elite. Yeah, this is a good draft, my friends. This is a good, underrated draft. Nothing crazy flashy, but just solid through and through. Benjamin Chiodo from the Lethbridge Hurricanes of the WHL. E in skating, no problem. Just stay at home and I'll let you know when you're traded. Benjamin Chiodo, low elite, 49 overall. Let's see that skating. Whoa, a half star, 65 balance. The guy, did you ever learn how to skate? You're playing the WHL, you have 65 balance? Pick number, you know what, that wasn't nice. Chiodo, welcome to the team. Pick number 203, 3 bars medium backup, not bad. If you want to just take another goalie prospect in the system. 3 bars low elite, though. I'd rather take 3 bars low elite, I think. 2 bars medium top 6. This guy's guaranteed low top 6. Johan Sonnenberg, 6'4", 17 years old. Yeah, let's go for him again. Guaranteed. I'd rather take a guarantee. 49 overall, low top 6, power forward. Let's see the physical stats, maybe. Oh, half star for everything except 1 star shooting. There you go. Oh, sorry, was that 1 star on skating? Bah, there you go. And that is the draft, my friends. That is the draft. A very solid draft, I would say. I like these names. Correa, Drake, Dalcol, Donaghy, Chiodo, and Sonnenberg. Welcome to Minnesota. Let's re-sign the scouts and all that. That's going to pop up in just a second as we get to the re-sign phase. AHL assistant coach needs a new contract, and some scouts needs a new contract, so I will take care of that. All right, time for the meat and potatoes here, my friends. Let's get into the contract situation here. We have $18.865 million in cap space. Not a lot of expiring deals. Oh, Marco Rossi's 85 overall. Oh, baby. Second line center guaranteed. Okay, expiring, all expiring. Here we are. Eric Johnson, love you, but goodbye. Cannot afford, well, I can't afford that, but not interested in affording that. Josh Lievo, I love you, but you have a high price tag. You had 22 points this season, which was great. +2 on the 4th line. Barely, like, not a lot of ice time per night. And he still got it done. Good on the penalty kill. This is another guy who, like the last time we re-signed him, let him walk to free agency. I'll see you later. That's what I'm going to tell you. Not goodbye. Goodbye to Eric Johnson, but not goodbye necessarily to Josh Lievo. Carson Soucy. I like Soucy, and I'd like to keep him as depth. Is 1.5 too much for a depth defenseman? Maybe a bit, but he does fit all the line chemistry, so I'm going to try to lowball him a little bit. 1.25 for 1 year. And if he wants that, then I'm happy to have him back. CC, we got him off waivers, and he killed it down in Iowa. So you know what? He wants a 2-way deal. I'll give you... No, okay, let's stay realistic. 1 year, 2-way, bang. Okay. Kiefer Sherwood, he was okay. He wasn't good in the playoffs. During the regular season, had 19 points and a -4. Another guy who I'd probably be more inclined to just let walk. He does want a very cheap contract, though. Worst comes to worst, we can trade him. I like that he wants cheap. Like, Lievo wanting 2 point whatever, that was not going to happen. Will Bitton is an RFA, medium top 9. Hasn't really grown much. Maybe he could crack the lineup this season. You know what? I love that contract. 2 years at 0.95. There you go. Frédéric Gauthier, il veut, what? 1.7 out of 78 overall. Sorry, Bello. Again, see you later. Maybe. Can't do that. Rest of these guys, Miletic, he was from free agency just to fill a spot. 38 points in 76. We'll see you later, buddy. Sokolov, we definitely want to keep him. Hopefully he can continue to grow. Volkov does not want to resign, but he is an RFA. He's been good in Iowa. 50 points this last season. Yeah, I'm going to qualify Volkov because I'd like to keep him. Belpedio, 27 years old, 77 overall, top exact 7th D potential. Probably time to let him go, despite him being a 3rd-round pick in 2014. Just has not grown enough. We do need defense. Someone has to play defense, though, so I won't release him just yet. Let me hang on for a second. Luke Johnson. Probably going to have to let him walk. Two-way forward, had 33 points in 73 games. Got to let him. He barely had room on the 4th line. I'm going to let him walk. McCaution. Do I keep McCaution or Bell? He's a defensive defenseman, so he works with Addison, actually. That's why I kept McCaution. Belpedio, two-way deal. I don't know. Mason Shaw, we definitely want to keep him because he can grow very, very much. And I've seen the franchise modes where he has gone to the mid to high 80s, so we'll have him playing first line in Iowa. Addison, we definitely keep Addison. 3 years keeps him as an RFA. Okay. Kalen Addison, 3 years. Kovanov, he also grows, so 3 years on him as well. Max RFA. Let's advance a day, and then we'll see what's up. Let's just go to goalies here. So a lot of goalies who need contracts. Of course, Morozov and Wallstedt will be signed as they'll be playing in the AHL. We'll have to figure out what happens with our AHL goalie sitch of that we currently have going. Tristan Jarry, we're not going to be able to sign him to that. Well, now he wants 9.3. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and let him walk right away. Jonathan Quick does not want to extend. Anyone's 1.1. I don't think we have room for him. We already have like 3 goalies for 2 spots. So I'm going to let Quick walk to free agency. And now unsigned as well. Do we sign anyone in our unsigned? No, I do not believe so. So now we can advance today. We'll get some scouts signing on for sure. Yeah, get through all the scouts here, run through them. The AHL assistant coach doesn't like the role, even though that's what he asked for. So goodbye, Yuri Nestorov. Susi wants a 2-year deal. CC, he felt that he couldn't pack the injury. Okay, well, you want a 2-way deal, so... Sherwood, easy decision. Bitten, Shaw, Sokolov, Kovanov, Addison, Wallstedt, Morozov, all easy decisions. Welcome aboard. Back to all expiring. Let's just go to UFAs for a moment. I'm going to try to get Susi, CC, maybe Belpedio, I'm not sure. Watkins, I'm probably going to let walk. Datsuk, I'm not sure. Let me think about that. Stillman, I don't know. Giroux, Yadin. I'll probably sign all these guys, and then once I figure out Iowa, then I can make moves. So just give me a second. So you know what? I'm a nice guy. Let me give these guys contracts. They can try to make the team. If they don't play, then they stay scratched in Iowa. No big deal. Actually, McCaution does not want to extend. I didn't notice that. Plus, he actually wants $1.15 million as a 77 overall. So goodbye, Ian, and Belpedio will get the contract instead. RFAs, all these guys have been offered contracts. So we will once again advance a day. More scouts. Malachi Delmore, Evan Scavello, whatever these guys' names are. Riley Stillman's on board. Susi doesn't feel like he's been offered the money he is worth. And CC's on board, just have to give him a higher 2-way deal. And everyone else is in. That just leaves Susi now. So Susi, I offered him 2 years at 1.350. 85% is 1.36. So this will really test the 85% theory. At 1.375, he should accept because that is 85%. No, okay, so it doesn't always work, as we have seen in the past. I really don't want to give him a lot of money. Like, I'm not sure how often he'll be playing, but when he does play, he'll be good to slot in. So I'll try 2 years at 1.450. But now you're starting to push your luck here, Susi. Yeah, you're starting to push your luck, because if you go to free agency, I'm doubting anyone's going to be signing you for 1.5. Final offer, 2 years, 1.5 million. And if he doesn't, then I'll see you in free agency. What do you say, Susi? Goodbye. Goodbye. My goodness, you try to be a nice guy, and they just slap you in the face. So with 18.74 million, we're looking good, but we got to remember about next season here. Next season, we're going to need to offer a new contract to Lindholm if he stays or we trade him. Either way, Rossi needs a new contract. Hoffman, does he stay? Do we give him a new contract? Boldy needs a contract. Botter needs a contract. So we're looking good in money now, but we shouldn't go and spend it all on big deals because we have to be cognizant of next season. So we'll advance a day now, nothing left to do, heading into free agency. Before we can hop into the free agent class, need to do our due diligence. I'm going to go sign any scouts who are better than the scouts we have now, and then we'll hop in. All right, all done. We should have 3 new scouts joining the fold here in Minnesota. And here we go into the free agent class. Wow, there are some names. Remember, we have $18.7 million in cap space. And now that we have a better idea, now that it's July 1st, actually, we can look and have a better idea at what our players will be asking for. So we can keep a little mental note of that for all expiring contracts here. Let's say for Elias Lindholm, not even Lindholm, let's say Marco Rossi. He would be taking 8.2. So next year, as of now, we'd have 30 million in extension dollars. 30 million. So if Lindholm wants, oh, that's not bad. If Lindholm wants 6 and Rossi wants 8, that's already 14. That leaves us with 16 left. Hoffman would be asking for 6. That's already pushing it really far. Add a starting goalie to the mix and Matthew Boldy. Yeah, that's not going to be easy. So I wouldn't say we're looking for any big forward stars or anything like that, unless we were prepared to trade Elias Lindholm at the very least. So I think David Pastrnak is definitely out of the question, unfortunately. 92 overall, wants 13.225. O'Reilly, if you get him, you're guaranteed the Selke Trophy. You could get Vladimir Tarasenko, so tough times over in St. Louis, as Tarasenko is up for grabs, 31 years old. Interesting. Okay, Bo Horvat, top 50s here. Radulov, Clefbaum, Dumba, Drouin, Pacioretty. A lot of great names. Very good names, even for depth. Like a guy like Gurianov, boy, that's a bit too much. But a guy like Van Riemsdyk at 3.8 million for an 84 overall sniper, that's very nice. Very, very... Mikko Koivu is still here, so is Kovalchuk. Wow. So anyways, let's check out the real thing that we're interested in, the goaltending position, and UFAs, who has dropped to free agency. Okay, Tristan Jarry, Ben Bishop, Thatcher Demko, Simeon Varlamov, and then it goes down to the 84s. We are looking, I think, for someone in like a 2-year range. Not looking for necessarily 1, not looking for 4, in that 2, maybe even 3-year range. I don't think a guy like Tuukka Rask can do it, for example, who has fringe starter potential, is already 36 years old. But someone like Mackenzie Blackwood, Fleury, I don't think he'd be able to hang on. But someone like Blackwood, someone like Demko, even Bishop, he still has the starter potential at 36. That's pushing it, but I think he could. Jerry wants 9.6. So Ben Bishop at like 2 years for $6 million is doable. How does he simulate? How has he been simulating? Very well. Very, very well. Oof, love Ben Bishop. 6'7", as big as Kyle Wood. I think Bishop might be the guy. That's what people were saying as well. Varlamov, though, look at Varlamov. He's only wanting 3.5 compared to Bishop's 6, and he's a year younger and an overall less. They both want 2 years, which is nice. However, his numbers are very different. Islanders team worse than the Stars team, understandably, but still, he's consistently putting up around 900 save percentage and 2.75 and up goals against average. Thatcher Demko would be fantastic because he's young and could stay longer term, but I don't know if I'm there for that 4-year commitment to Thatcher. Plus, I don't know if he simulates as well. Probably just hasn't. He was on a bad San Jose team, yeah. Do we give Thatcher the chance to become the new starter? Because, again, we have to look at our depth here, our goaltending depth. We have 2 goalies with starter potential who are 21 and 22, and then we have 2 prospects with high and medium starter potential who are both 20, and they're in the high 60s of overall. So pretty much have 4 goalies who could be the starter within like the next 4 years, who could all be starters. Like Wallstedt, I don't know how long it would take him. Morozov, he could probably be starting within 3 years. Depending on growth, Markkanen and Jones could probably be just a duo in nets right now. So that's the thing. I don't think I want to commit to someone for 4 years, because if we were to sign Demko for 4 years, we would just slowly start having to trade away Jones and then Wallstedt, and then it's between Markkanen and Morozov, and then we still end up trading both of them and to get a different backup because they're just too good, and then we had 4 goalie prospects for nothing and just signed Thatcher Demko in the end. So that's not really what I want to do. I think I'd rather go with the veteran in Ben Bishop, especially since that was what was suggested, and I just like him a bit more of a safe option in my mind. So I'm going to try offering him a contract. Hopefully no one else offers him one. Maybe I wait, actually. Maybe I wait a few days, see if it goes down, or if teams are interested. Because if a team is interested tomorrow and I offered 6 million and they offered 6.1, it's not going to be good. But if I see a team is interested, then I can up it and go to 6.2 or something. So I'm going to advance a day, and we're going to see from there. As well, over in the coaching staff, there are some interesting names in the coaching staff that could be hired. Sylvain Maisonneuve here, A- head coach, 67% team fit, loves Krug, loves Suter, loves Parise, has love for Sergachev, Monahan, Kaprizov, Lindholm, Murray, Fiala. So this is very interesting. However, I don't know how he fits with the entire team, and also how does he like them where they are. He likes Parise on the top line, but Parise is not playing on the top line, so that's why I don't really know if that's a true roster scheme fit. So that's very tempting to want to sign somebody, but I think I'm going to have to hold off on that. We're going to advance a couple days once we figure out the bottom six as well, because we still need to sign those fourth liners. So if we were thinking fourth line center, like maybe 80 overall and below, Scott Lawton would be interesting. Scott Lawton is a pretty good simulation guy, 3.5-star defense, two-way forward, fits the third line. I'd have to do some research here to try to find a center. Ooh, Victor Rask. I'm trying to find a center for the fourth line, as well as wingers probably. But that's why I don't want to sign everyone for the fourth line and then no one can be called up from the AHL. So it's very delicate. And some of these price tags are crazy. Evan Rodriguez wants 3.225. Like, these are crazy price tags. I don't know, like Luke Glendening would be interesting. 87 faceoffs, which is great, but I don't know. So, you know what? I'm going to advance a few days. I'm going to let the expensive guys go, let the price tags come down. Let's advance and see what happens. Just one day, actually, because we want to see if anyone's interested in Bishop. No one interested in Bishop just yet. Day 2, there is one interested team in Tristan Jarry. So, you know what? No one's offering. I'm going to really hope and go for it. I probably should have gone for it earlier, but I'm going to hope and go for it now. 1 year wants 6.1. So, you know what? I'll give him the 2 years. I'm going to go a bit risky here. I don't like how usually people do in free agency will go like 6.5 to make sure they get him. I'm going to hope that no one's interested, and I'm going to go 5.850 for 2 years on Ben Bishop. I'm really going to go risky here. GM Data has seen the system, and he thinks that he's onto something here. So we got the scouts, Vitaly Svitov, Akim Ambul. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You no longer have room for me in your scouting staff. Oh, did I sign too many scouts? Oh, my apologies. Hold up. Parise for a third-round pick. Wow, that's interesting. Parise for a third. If I wanted to dump him for salary, I would, but I don't think it's really necessary at the moment. We're going to hope that he retires. He'll be great on the third line as well and the power play, so I don't think there's any reason right now to really be desperate to move Parise. So keep advancing here. Come on, Big Ben. Come to Minnesota, Big Ben, and get yourself a Stanley Cup. Gordon Doyle, scout, is on board. What do you say, Big Ben? What do you say to taking over the crease in Minnesota? Let's go at 5.850. We are not going to overpay here in Minnesota. We're not going to give you 6.5 just to guarantee something. 6'7" monster. Extremely happy to accept your offer. I appreciate the fact that you offered me the exact contract length I was asking for. Thanks. Hey, Ben, you got it. I'm going to send you a nice basket of fruit, a nice welcome basket, little Laura Secord chocolates inside. You just take it easy, and I'll see you in September. All right, so that brings us to 13.74 in cap space at the moment. We could, in theory, sign like a really crazy one-year deal. Like, imagine Tarasenko on a one-year contract. Fits the second line. He only scored 25 goals last season. Is he one of those fake snipers here in NHL? It says they're a sniper, but they never score. Yeah, 25, 22, 18, and 7. Yeah, it's not really a real sniper, despite the shooting category. Don't let them fool you in that shooting category. These are some big price tags, by the way. But before we can focus on that, we need to focus on the bottom 6 here. So I have to do some research myself. I'm going to go back to the player search, see who's good at face-off, see who's good defensive awareness, all that good stuff. And then I'll come to you with my options. I'm actually really racking my brain here because the lineup at the moment, if the first line is Kaprizov, Monahan, and like Greenway, and the second line is Boldy, Fiala, and Rossi, that means the third line is Parise, Hoffman, and Lindholm. which makes Lindholm the third line center. Is that what we want to be doing? That and our top line would be filled, which is good because we wouldn't need to go sign a third line center as I thought we may have had to. But it's relegating Hoffman and Lindholm to the third line. Parise, I'm okay with being on the third line, but Hoffman, he has a good line fit for it. It's not the end of the world. Lindholm on the third line is a bit weird, though, because he does not fit the third line, unless we were to change coaches. I'm not sure about that. And then on the right wing, is there anyone I'm forgetting here? No, Sherwood. So Sherwood can play fourth line right wing. We need a fourth line center and a fourth line left wing, unless Will Bitton could get called up. 74 faceoffs, so maybe Will Bitton could make the team. That would be cool, but we would still need a fourth line left wing at the very least. Sorry, fourth line center, I mean, because Bitton would play the wing. On the right, Sherwood would play the left. We could use some depth as well. So fourth line center and forward depth. And on defense, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could use a sixth defenseman like Susie we were talking about. I don't know what's going to happen with defense. It's really going to depend on Botter's growth. So we are not done yet, my friends. Free agency will not be the end of this episode. We still have a lot to figure out. I'm not worried about not signing a third-line center because if Lindholm can't play third-line center, we'll just trade him for a third-line center. It's not the end of the world if we can't do that. Goaltending, we have Bishop locked up with Markkanen or Jones backing him up, no problem. But for fourth line center, I'm still racking my head a little bit here because there really aren't a lot of good options. And then for the options that did pop up, there's not a lot of people who actually fit. Like here's Jumbo Joe. The man's 44 years old. He wants a 2-year contract, but he fits the third line, it says. Could we play him on the fourth line? That would be really cool. He has bottom six potential, so he'd probably drop. That wouldn't be crazy. Jumbo Joe on the fourth line. I don't know why he's wanting to sign for 2 years. The guy's isn't he going to be turning 45 this season? That's just, I've never seen Jumbo play into 2023-24, I don't think. Kyle Turris, 11 years younger, also fits the second line. There's a few other guys like Jeff Carter, fits all the penalty kill lines. There was Bozak, only fits the first line. There was Lawton, only fits the third line. And then there was Jenner, only fits the first line maybe. So it's really not giving me much. Man, I'm really tempted to go for Jumbo because even if he drops, he'll be fine. The speed won't be good, but playing with Bitton and Sherwood, I don't know. I really can't resist this. It's pulling me in like a vortex. 2 years at 2.250 for Jumbo Joe Thornton at the age of 44. I'd give him 1 year, 2.5, but he wants 2 years. And if he wants to play until he's like 46, then I definitely want to be the person who has him on the team. Plus 2 years will give him a higher chance of signing. You know what? I can't say no to that. Look at those eyes. Look at those eyes. You can't say no to him. 2 years, 2.250 for Joe Thornton. Oh, wow. What did we just do? Okay, so we could use some forward depth as well. Someone like an 80 overall here who's just willing to sign on. Pavel Zacha fits the fourth line and penalty kill. Okay, that's cool. Power forward, yeah, I think Pavel Zacha fits fine at 1.6 million. Victor Rask is depth. Victor Rask, how the mighty have fallen. The poor guy. He was signed to that massive contract. We traded him away. Bobby Ryan is here. But I don't know if I want a sniper as depth. I'd rather have someone like a power forward like Zacha. You know what? I can't sign 100 people either. I'm going to sign Zacha to a 1 year contract. Oh, he would stay as an RFA. So 1 year, 1.5 for Pavel Zacha. And I'll even throw a bone to Victor Rask. He already has Tampa Bay interested in him. Tampa Bay, isn't he? Yeah, didn't we trade him to Tampa Bay? And then we took Sergachev because they had too much. Yeah, that was what happened. Because they couldn't re-sign him. 1 year, 0.950. I doubt he signs that, but, 1 year, 1 million. And if he wants to come to Minnesota, we can, or he can go back to Tampa Bay. And then defense. We need to figure out defense. Another tough question. Alex Edler's here. That's a cheap contract. Only wants 1 year. Fits all penalty kill. I love Alex Edler. Two-way D, though, because, I don't know. If it really depends on where Botter's playing, because if Botter's third pair, then he's a defensive defenseman. But we don't want him on the third pair. We want him in the top 4. And if we put him in the top 4, that means someone drops to the bottom pair. Whether of the 4 of Suter, Sergachev, Murray, and Krug, probably Murray will drop to the third pair as a two-way D. Then who will fit with him? Really tough question. Justin Hall, this is killing me. Dustin Byfuglien, 39 years old. Mark Giordano, That'll be some nice veteran presence. Fits the second D pairing. Julius Honka fits the third D pair, but he has two teams interested in him, and he wants 2.475. I don't know about that. Chalowski, D pairing 2. Everyone fits D pairing 2. Very rare that I find someone who fits D pairing 3. No, Derek Johnson does not fit D pairing 3. Do not lie to me. He does not fit D pairing 3. I know Eric Johnson. Here's Susi. Yeah, fits all defensive pairings. You know what? I'll get Susi, but he might be more depth. I don't know if I want him playing all the time. So I'll give him 1 year, actually. 1 year at 1.4 for Carson Susi instead. We'll see what he says to that. And I would love to get just one more guy. Oh, here's Capobianco. He dropped to free agency. Ooh, Capobianco. Yeah, I think we'll just sign him then. Nathan Beaulieu, Brett Kulak. No, we'll just sign. We'll just sign Capobianco. Yeah, we love Capobianco in Minnesota. So 1 year for him. Stays as an RFA. Beautiful. We traded him for nothing. 1 year, 1.250, and he stays as an RFA. That would be wonderful. So let's see if all those guys sign on, and then we'll go all the way to the preseason, and we can figure out what the heck is this lineup going to look like. So we can, I guess we'll have to sim to next season, because we'll just hope there's good coaches still available. CC and a 7th for a 4th. Oh, that's really tempting. That's next year's 4th and a 7th. I can't. Well, let me see if the defensive. Okay, so Rask goes to Tampa Bay. That's all right. A 2nd and a 3rd for Tyler Bertuzzi and a 4th. Wow. Susi is on board. Zach is on board. Thornton goes back to San Jose. There are too many players in my position on your roster to know where I stand when I sign this deal. I've decided to reject the offer. All right, Jumbo. I understand. Capobianco rejects. That's okay. Oh man, Jumbo goes back to San Jose. That's understandable. If he went anywhere but there, I'd be upset. But that makes a lot of sense. So we'll need a new 4th line center then. Gaudette isn't really a center with 74 faceoffs. Lawton's 81 faceoffs. You know what? I like Lawton. He's been on my watch list for a while. I'm not sure if he fits, but he does have some of the best defensive stats of all the people who are available. Derek Brassard would not be bad, but again, his faceoffs aren't great. I'm going to try Lawton. If he doesn't work out, I'll go for somebody else, but I will try Lawton first of all. 1 year at 1 point, 1 year at 1.6 like he's asking for. If he wants to go to Detroit instead, he can. I'm not going to be paying him $2 million just to get him on my 4th line as the centerman in that spot. CC, Datsuk and a 4th for Marc-Andre Fleury. Wow. He's only signed for 2 years at 2.7. That's a great deal. And we could get him for cheap, but we're going to wait and see how Ben Bishop does before we start making anything like that. Lawton goes to Detroit. You've not offered me the dollars I feel I deserve. Goodbye. A lot of people want Cody Ceci for some reason. Mackenzie Blackwood is still available. Wow, the goalies are still here, eh? Interesting. Let's go back to centers. Tarasenko is still out here as well. Who can we get? Quinville has 6 teams interested. Okay. I'd rather go for Brassard over him. Matthew Highmore, 79 overall. Big Zemgus with his 73 faceoffs. Forget it. Andrew Kopp has good faceoffs, 85 defensive awareness, which is good. -5 last season. I don't know. Sean Corrali, 81 faceoffs for Sean Corrali, which is nice. Fits the first line. Doesn't really help us since he won't be playing there. Or do we take Derek Brassard, who is 1 overall higher and worse on the faceoffs, better with the stick checking. Only 3-star defense overall, though. Fits penalty kill, which would be helpful. Let's go for Derek Brassard. A bit more of an established name. 1 year at 1.1 for Derek Brassard. That'll be a less money as well. I know money isn't an issue, but just to say that we can have the ability to have a lot of breathing room should something come up at the deadline or what. Derek Brassard, what do you say? Extremely happy to accept your offer. Welcome to Minnesota. I will see you all at training camp. All right, so here we are at the beginning of the regular season. I'm going to set the lines, set the rosters, and see who had some good growth and see what we are looking like. All right, so it was a very weird off-season because look at these numbers and tell me what you see off. Mike Hoffman is down to an 82 overall. Zach Parise is down to an 81 overall. And not even making the lineup is now 78 overall Derek Brassard. What kind of off-season do these people have? Where are my trainers? Where are my conditioners? What happened? Thankfully, Marco Rossi is up to an 86, which is great. In theory, we could switch him with Monahan, get a +3 on the top line, but then it's a -1 on the second line. Could switch it like this, but then Monahan's playing 3rd line center. So this is really weird. We really want Boldy, Fiala, and Greenway all in the top 6, and Kaprizov obviously has to be in the top 6. We want these guys to be getting growth. Hoffman at 82 overall, just dead weight. He's going to be gone after this season, I guess, but on the third line, I guess it doesn't hurt us. It's more Lindholm that I find weird to be on the third line center. 85 overall is great, but it's not the end of the world. This top 9, the fourth line is what is killing me, because although it's nice to have Zaka, Sherwood, and Bitton, it was supposed to be Brassard at center at 80 overall and Zaka depth. But now my depth, instead of being an 80 overall, is a 78 overall, and Bitton is forced into full-time lineup duty, playing as a 78 overall on the fourth line. That's not the worst thing, but I don't know if I'm as comfortable as I could have been. Like last season, we had 80 overall Steen, 80 overall Lievo. Not the greatest. Capobianco grown to an 80 overall, which is wonderful. 80 overall for him. He'll be our depth on the defensive end. Suter dropped to an 85. Botter only grew to an 82. And Murray dropped from an 85 to an 84. Krug also growing from 87 to 88. I think I'll keep Krug and Suter on the top pair with the +5. Sergachev, Botter on the second pair. I don't like Murray on the third pair. I love Ryan Murray. He's been a great trooper on this team. He has 3 more seasons at 5.35, but he doesn't really fit the third defensive pairing, and he's, it's killing him a little bit. I don't want to get to a point in this series where we have 86s on the third line and 85 defensemen on the third pair type of thing, Third pair D or third pair D, not guys who are making 5.3 million at 84 overall. Already it's weird to be having Lindholm on the third line. I don't know if we're going to be even keeping that. Goaltending-wise, more of a disappointment as Bishop dropped to an 85 overall. Hopefully that shouldn't mean much, though, as long as he can just continue to simulate the same. Juho Markkanen grew to an 80 overall, which is really nice as a 21-year-old goaltender. 2 more years on his contract. I brought up Hunter Jones to be depth at goaltending because I think I'd rather him be a healthy scratch to fill in when needed, as opposed to playing in the AHL and taking away minutes from our 2 prospects. Even though Morozov's only a 71 and Wallstedt is only a 69, I'm not sure if I want to have Wallstedt scratched all season and Hunter Jones starting. I'm not sure. Let me know your thoughts on that. We could just scratch Wallstedt and make Jones start with Morozov backing him up. The lines in the AHL, they're a disaster. I signed Chekovich. I'm signing Sven Barchi. We're going to figure that out in just in a few minutes. But, yeah, chemistry's not the greatest. Looking at the coaching staff here, our head coach, Rabichaud, 90 staff chemistry, and he gives a 64% team fit. Really not the greatest, especially with these new lines. If the lines were going to stay like this, I don't think he'd be our head coach. 64%. The staff chemistry at 90 is nice, but still, I don't know. If we go to head coaches here, a lot of them got signed, obviously, which is a bummer, but we didn't know how things were going to look and how players were going to drop. I thought Hoffman would be playing second line and we'd have a real issue, but no, he dropped to 82 and now he's on the third line. Braden Van Ryn, 64%, 62, 59, 59, so none of the head coaches seem to be good. If we go and we drop down to associate coaches, could I find anyone higher than 64? 66, hold on. 66 for Brent Sarno. He likes Kaprizov, Krug. He likes a lot of the guys a lot more. Doesn't like Lindholm and Boldy where they are, but he likes everything else. So Brent Sarno at 66 is good to know. That's it for the associate coaches. Then if we head down to assistant coaches, just looking at if there's any better team fits than 66. 66 from Braxton Andersons. He loves Kaprizov and Krug, which is good. I guess that comes that he doesn't like Sherwood as much as the other guy did, as Sarno, or doesn't like Greenway as much. But I don't know if I'd really want to take on a C- head coach just because he likes Kaprizov a little bit more and has the same team fit. And that's it. A bunch of 64s, but no one better than those 2 66s. So Brent Sarno might be our man. If anyone is curious about how the other coaches look, like Wisniewski or something like that, we could just promote them quickly to see how things look. Interim head coach Wisniewski, he gives us a 66% team fit. Okay. Very similar, I guess, to Sarno, if not identical. Very similar, I think. couldn't tell you for sure. And this is how line chemistry looks under Wisniewski. +1, +1, 0, +1, defense +5, +1, +1. So I guess it's pretty much the same. Maybe it comes down to special teams. I didn't fix that yet. So let me fix special teams how I'd want them to be, and then we could take a look in a moment. So we can go +3, +1 on the power plays. Penalty kills are both zeros. It's really tough to find anyone that fits. Just dashes pretty much for everybody except like Lindholm, who has a line fit check mark. So that would be with Wisniewski as head coach. Again, if Robichaud is back to being head coach, then the special teams would look the same on the power play, and penalty kill would actually have a +1 and a 0 instead of 2 0. So probably Robichaud is the better option between those two, but I'm still pretty interested in going after Sarno. And just to do our due diligence here, if Levasseur is our head coach, what's his name? René Levasseur, it gives us a 57% team fit. And Maximilian Lautner, 66% team fit. Interesting. So Maximilian Lautner as head coach gives a +1 to the second line. That's cool. Defense +5, +1, +1. Power play +1 and 0. And penalty kill, yeah, forget that. Sorry, Maximilian. You're back to goalie coach. And there we go. So that's how we'll do it for the moment. NHL head coach. So, what? Staff chemistry? It was at 90, then it was at 85, then it was at 83, just because I moved some people around. We'll need an They signed an AHL head coach for us, I think. Yeah, this guy's terrible. We'll find a better AHL head coach. So, yeah, that is how we're looking. If we keep Robichaud as the head coach, it would not be a terrible idea, but Sarno is tempting. Scouts have been sent out. We can go ahead and begin the preseason just a little bit if we want to get a little taste for how things are looking. Sven Barchi's going to join us in Iowa. 3-2 win against Dallas. I'm going to go hire a better AHL head coach. All right, so contract offer sent out to someone who has a 72% team fit. I think you'll all be very pleased with him if he signs on. Continue simulating through the preseason here. And there he is. New head coach of the Iowa Wild, Patrick Marleau, 44 years of age and a 72% team fit. I accept with no reservations. That's what you love to hear in an interview. Boris Kachuk also signing for Iowa. Not going to do that trade with the Coyotes. And it's a 3-1 win against the Avalanche. So that's much better for the lines now in the AHL. Defense, I don't like that we don't get the +5s anymore with Addison now that we don't have McCoshen, but we'll do what we can with that. Power play looks fine. Penalty kill looks fine. Patrick Marleau, have a year. I am looking forward to seeing great things from you in Iowa. NHL, though, it remains. We still have to go through the rest of the preseason. I'll go ahead and hire an AHL assistant coach and goalie coach off screen after we finish off here. Nashville Predators, we lose 5-1 against them. Great. Chicago Blackhawks, we win 5-4 in a shootout. Got to fix the shootout lineup. Forgot that. Blues, we shut them out 1-0. And finally, against the Winnipeg Jets, we lose 3-0. Great. So 4-2-0 through the 6 games of the preseason. Pavel Zacha led scoring with 5 points in 6 games. That's a little concerning. I don't know where the other scorers were. Will Bitton and Pavel Zacha are top 2 scorers. Okay. Kaprizov had 2 points and -3. Monahan 2 points and -4. Boldy 2 points and -4. And look down here. Here are all the All-Stars. 0 points for Lindholm, Parise, Murray, Hoffman. Yeah, that's not gonna fly. That is really bad. Ben Bishop, how did he hold up? Fine. Look, great goal against average, but a bad save percentage. So just fine enough. Just didn't get any support. So I'm not gonna. That's nothing to hold against Ben Bishop right there. But I think we're gonna have to fix something up in the forward category. Not sure what to say there. So what we'll do is just quickly go through all of the trade blocks. Here's the trade value that we have associated with our players on our team. If you were curious to see this, especially Lindholm's value. Here is everybody else. There's Korea. Should we sign Korea? No, if we sign Korea, he won't be able to play anyway, so we'll just keep him in the juniors for the moment. Addison and so forth. And then for the goalies, no value for like any one still of our prospects for some reason. And we have our 1st and 4th round pick for the upcoming draft next season. Just skate through all of the players on the blocks between just the forward skaters, that is, no goalies, of all the teams in the NHL. Thomas Hertl, Alex Wenberg, both on the blocks there. If anyone is of interest to you, just let me know in the comments. Jack Quinn here, or even on Discord, and I could look them up outside of the video and tell you anything about their line fits that you might be curious about. Gardner, Kessel. Slavin, Pesci, more. That's why it's important to join the Discord server. Link in the description if you want to talk outside of the YouTube comments. Baron, Foodie, Chubsov, Vitaly, Dallas Stars, Klingberg, Mikhaev, Raquel, Lindell, Orlov, Grigorenko. Wow, a lot of names right there. And I should actually look at their contracts as well. 6 years left. You could just keep note of that. Where was the other team that had a lot of people on? Was it Carolina? Yeah. 2 years for Slavin, 1 year for Pesci, 4 years there for Gardner, 1 year for Kessel. Detroit, nobody. Edmonton, Florida, no. LA, Ryan Ellis, 4 years for him. Schwartz, Janssen, Barry Kopitar, 1 year left at $10 million. A lot of trade value for that kind of contract. Brad Lambert's on the block, and so is Cole Sillinger. Interesting, over in Nashville. They have some good, and Tomasino, they have good prospects. And they're just too many, I guess. Zibanejad on the block, 3 years at 7.125, 87 overall. Very interesting. Mika Zibanejad, Ristolainen, Kreider, Trouba, Bushnevich, Lindgren, Pavel Bushnevich. Lindgren's an RFA right now, just sitting in free agency. He wants a huge contract. There's Jared Spurgeon. We had to trade him away because we knew that he wouldn't keep up with how good he actually is in the real world because NHL blackballed him for some reason. Schlappick, Savard, Benning, Eklund, McLennan, all these guys. Matheson, Vlasic, Slater, Cuckoo, Tampa Bay, Hoyle, okay. Toronto Maple Leafs, nobody. More prospects, and that's pretty much it. So there are the blocks of the teams around the NHL. So keep that in mind, keep the coaching staff in mind, keep our contract extensions in mind. It seems like Hoffman's definitely going to walk, but we still need to think about extensions of other people. Do we keep Lindholm? Do we move Lindholm? Do we wait with Lindholm? Where does Botter fit in the lineup? What's going on with all of this stuff? So there are a lot of questions that we weren't expecting, and I will look forward to hearing your thoughts headed into year number 4. So thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. That'll make you made aware of all of the uploads here, whether it be franchise mode of NHL or MLB, NHL Be a Pro, NHL franchise mode challenges. We do live streams twice a week now, getting out of the holiday schedule and back to the regular schedule. So the link for the Twitch channel in the description, as well as the link for the Discord server, like I said, where we can discuss all of this stuff outside of the YouTube video and just stuff in general. Really fun community. We play games, we have discussions, we talk about all things sports and all things in the world in general. So we would love to have you come join in. But as always, thank you so much for watching. We just passed 1.8K subscribers, so thank you all so much for that. Looking forward to big things here in 2021, and I will see you in the next one, where we look to have a good season in year number 4 with some questions hopefully answered.